Hey, I'm your local theatre kid, and this was an unplanned video. This was supposed to be a section in the previous video, but Joe and I rambled on for too long. 43 minutes to be precise. Thankfully, I was able to cut it down to 32 minutes. I find all of it interesting, and I hope you do too. So Joe, do you remember when we did the top tips video?
Yes, I do.
Well, I've taken some of the questions I asked you and amended some of them for the rest to do it now.
Great, let's go.
So, one that I frequently ask you, what is your favourite memory of the course?
One of my favourite memories was the rehearsals for the Greens performance, because that's when we were all working together for the majority of the time on a goal, on a common goal, and it was really good. I enjoyed the rehearsals. They were fun and for everyone, and they were helpful. We did stuff. A close second would be the what one was it? The ... performance.
Yeah.
That was just me, you, and Oscar having fun, putting on a great show. Oh.
Yeah, that's my favourite one, because just everything about the ... performance was just like it was the most work I've ever put into a performance.
Yeah.
And college, like I didn't even have to journal or anything to get me motivated. I was just like, what am I doing today? What am I doing today? What am I doing today? And now now that motivation has turned into making YouTube videos. Because I've got upload schedule sorted out and I want to stick by it.
Can't relate. Yeah, we did kind of ignore one of many pieces of advice from Stu, but the one I'm thinking of is he said, don't be yourselves, you're playing these characters. But that's how we got the characters, is we kind of just linked them to our personalities.
I mean, caricature of ourselves, let's say. Because in real life, I don't think you'd be what's the word? Grotesque.
Not
as grotesque as you were, or as silly as you were in that ... performance.
I can be quite silly, but yeah, I get what you mean. I would do it. I would, as a joke, I can be a bit.
Yeah.
But not in reality. Yeah, I see what you mean.
The sword fight with guns was very over the top. I don't think we'd do that in real life.
No, I don't think so.
Let's sword fight with guns.
What? Time to show you what I learned from Dynamo himself. Yeah! Seen that before? His thumb's coming off.
Hey, troll!
What? Where?
That's not fair, you can't do that! Oh, I know what to do! Let go!
My finger, I've lost my finger. Where's my finger?
Back! You missed me!
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did! You tried to shoot me! You tried to shoot me! You missed me! Yes, you did!
That's the finger.
I've been Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton. Yeah,
Look at these
alive!
references! Bang!
He pushed his pistol out his face, bang!
What is that ruckus about? I was just trying to give you finger tricks.
I loved writing that Commedia dell'arte because it was just caffeine induced.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is funny, let's just write it. And then you and Oscar were just like, stop. Stop that.
Another one of my favourite scenes, I have to apologise to you because you weren't in it, was the Tartuffe one.
Yeah.
And it was just me, it came down to me and Oscar just falling about, because initially Oscar was quite worried about his lines. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
But we got to the point where we just had fun. And then on the second performance, we just started dancing at the end.
That was
like,
great.
what the hell happened? But it was
Nice.
so much fun.
Did you get through your procrastination? If so, how?
Procrastination was a big problem for me.
Yes.
I was not good at keeping up with the logbook / milestones.
But you got merit, so you must have done something.
As the school said, we were kind of like the guinea pigs because we were the first year
Yeah.
doing it. And I feel like, as well as myself, it was about, you know, finding ways of doing it that would work for me. There was like, it was just a little bit more difficult because it felt like there were some parts that certain people were trying out for the first time, like teachers.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of it, the way I got through procrastination was just finding out what works best, you know, finding out a way that I can, you know, just do it and then carry on with whatever.
I remember when we gave you like tasks for ... You were like, next week, I've done them.
Yeah,
That's
another thing. I think with performances where it was just where it was more acting based, I'm obviously more passionate about acting than anything else. So that and the energy you and Oscar had was just, that was it. I was in like the zone, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm excited. This is what I like doing. It's gonna get done. And
Okay.
there's no reason for me to procrastinate because it's something I enjoy.
So if you enjoy it, you won't procrastinate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I said. That yeah.
And the
That's
way that
interesting.
worked best for me that I was talking about it was finding enjoying it. As soon as I found
Yeah.
enjoying it, boom,
Yeah.
done.
Did you find joy in logbooks?
Eventually. Eventually I got to the point where I thought, I liked the idea of like, you know, after I looked at Aberystwyth and I said, oh, okay, this is the place, I really want to go here. I had the motive to enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know what I want, I know the goal. So it was like, great, like, just do it now.
I guess what made me work as hard as I did was, as soon as my sister suggested Goldsmiths 2 years ago, I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
So Goldsmiths was a goal of mine. I think I wrote it in a journal. I think that's packed away now. But I had like a massive list of goals. I put big goals on the left. Goldsmiths, famous actor, or famous theatre maker. And then small goals, how will I get to Goldsmiths?
Yeah.
Well, get distinction to distinction merit. Stu's reference, he told me what he wrote in it a little bit. He was like, he's stuck in, as soon as he got to Titchfield, he stuck himself in, and he's a massive support to the theatre.
Yeah.
Really passionate. And I also showed that by going to the open days, the applicant days, and I only needed merit, which is good.
Yeah.
And basically, if you have passion, people will see that, and you'll get rewarded for it. And I kind of think I love that. I love that. Because I worked my arse off and didn't do the best, didn't do the worst. Middle. Merit. I know where I could improve. I know where there is no more room for improvement. But merit, and got into Goldsmiths. That's amazing. What made you pick Aberystwyth as your firm choice?
So, I went to an Aberystwyth open day with someone else, and I saw the city, town, whatever. I saw Aberystwyth itself, and I thought, it's a nice scene, you know. That was the first thing. It was a nice scene. I liked the look of it and everything. And then I looked around. I was like, oh, it's really nice. They have this nice cinema that's also doubles up as a lecture hall for like presentations.
Yeah.
They have a really good drama department that I saw the costume and the set making areas as well, and I loved it. The accommodations I liked the accommodations too, but I can like cope with wherever I stay.
Yeah.
Basically. So it wasn't like a big deciding factor. But then I just, I really liked it. I liked, it was in a nice place. It was somewhere I could see myself being for a few years. So I think that was the ultimate thing. I was like, yeah, I feel comfortable.
What made me pick Goldsmiths was so my sister, as I said, my sister suggested it 2 years ago, I think, because she was like, what is the point of doing college if you don't know what uni you're going into? She also said this so that I had a head start on UCAS. So she suggested some, and I looked at some, but they were like Sheffield, Staffordshire, acting for screen and stage, and there was like, mate, why not just go to London?
Yeah.
There's an amazing one, Goldsmiths. You do the tech side of theatre as well.
Mm-hmm.
They do the tech side of theatre. There was my friend was in a performance where he operated the tech on stage, and that's why I kept suggesting it, because I was just like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But limited resources in the course, so fair enough. And went to the open day and loved it. The lady at reception was the loveliest person, so I arrived quite late because of traffic and first time driving to London, and they were like, and she was just like really lovely, showed me where everything was, gave me a bag, and then applicant day there was a talk about like, what if you don't get the grades to get in? My mum asked that question in a massive lecture hall. That was great. But they were like, they'll consider everything before giving you a no or yes.
Yeah.
So personal statement, the reference, and whether you've been to any open days, and whether you've stayed in contact with the university. So I sent like three emails, I think, 2 emails after the fact. And I think after they met me, they were just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like. But most of the people on the applicant day weren't really a fan of Goldsmiths, which was a shame. As always, the drama department overran. So I couldn't look at the accommodation, but I got into the accommodation that is on campus. So right out of bed 2 minutes before lecture and be like, go into lecture with pyjamas on. I'm awake, what's up? I'm so excited.
I know. Oh.
What's accommodation look like for you? Ensuite or shared bathroom?
I think you have an ensuite, if I remember correctly. I mean, there's different accommodations you can pay for. One of them is sort of it's basically a shared house. So I assume that's going to be more of a shared bathroom as well.
Yeah.
I really liked the look of the one where it's your own room, but it's it's quite nice. But it's just, and there's like, you get the views, the nice scenery, and I like it. I really like it because of that, and what it's like on the inside I can adapt to. It's fine.
Oh my god, Joe.
But so looking forward.
We could do a pub crawl in Wales.
Yes.
To get you used to the area, we can do a pub crawl.
See how many we can get kicked out on the first time there. Okay.
Chug a Jack Daniels and Coke, and then start screaming, "I like shagging sheep! Woo!"
Oh no! Oh no!
Back to the course.
Yeah.
Give me an example of when you felt most challenged in second year and how you got through it.
I think one of the biggest challenges in the second year would have been Unit 5, actually. Because
The
that's
individual
Yeah.
commission.
We were performing on our own. That was a completely different change of pace. It was, and it's a compulsory unit. So we, there was no getting out of it. Yeah, that was a very difficult thing when we did the mock. And I know there's been some, did we have to do a mock? But I think it was really good that we did a mock because I would not. The performance I did in the mock was bad, and I learned from that. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't entirely like it. I enjoyed the message, and I knew the intention to. It was a performance about acceptance in the LGBT community. The thought, the idea, the concept was there. It was good, like a good idea to go with, but I didn't do it well, and I learned from that. I believe Oscar said that I was playing it safe with that one. So I thought, you know what, we're going to add in a few more things in the next one, and I did. I added in the final performance, I added an interactive activity where I got audience members to come in and take these cards and read numbers and get sweets and stuff. A teacher even joined in, but
you? You. You, and let's see. One more, you.
Not you. Sorry, you didn't get there in time. I literally said that. Oh my goodness! And it was, and that was I wanted to get used to interacting with the audience as well. And what better way to do it than to get them on the stage? So I thought,
I'd say Unit 5 was the most challenging as well.
Yeah.
Because my ideas are out there.
They always are.
And I had to stick to the brief, while also trying to be original. And that's why I failed the unit. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
But it's such a beautiful performance, though. So I had to redo it on camera. Yeah. The proposal I did said that I was going to be performing it in the human evolution part of the museum, because it had the in the round stage. Yeah, I changed quite a lot of what I said in the proposal, so that was probably marked down.
That's probably another thing.
I stuttered most of my lines. That unit, I love that unit so much though, despite failing it, because it reignited writing scripts. Like, I used to write a shit ton of scripts, a shit ton of stories, and then when GCSE and college hit, I was just like, no, it was when college hit, when college started, I was like, everything I do has to be to college. So I only wrote one story, and that was the Silence is Deafening story. I remember when someone killed themselves in sixth form.
Yes.
And then it was told in tutor, and it was just silence.
Silence is deafening, I thought. In front of me were my friends, Molly, Joe, Oscar, and Megan. Also a teacher reading an email out loud from her phone. Our tutor. It was only her talking, Miss Duff. I wonder what people were thinking. Well, I don't need to wonder. I was probably thinking the same thing. Sean died of suicide, she said in the softest voice I've heard her in. Maybe even choked up a bit. Still, there was silence. As we keep saying, we're here for you. We don't want this happening again. More. Quietness was comfortable. Miss tried to encourage us to break the silence between us. Anything anyone wants to say? What are your thoughts? I was thinking, another man gone. Another addition to the statistic. I didn't know him, but it sucks. I've been there before, and I'm one of the privileged, lucky ones that got help. Instead of saying my thoughts as Miss suggested, I bowed my head and cleared my throat, which had a lump in, as if I'd swallowed a peanut with an allergy. The bell rang to indicate our break, and the loud, white noise of nothingness remained, until Molly advised that we should be extra kind to each other from now on. We all agreed.
I like Unit 5. And I'm quite glad I failed it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting opinion.
Because I tried my best and I know how to improve.
Yeah, I think there was something that happened quite often, which you reminded me of by saying your ideas were out there. Me, you, and Oscar particularly did this, and it was probably a mix of both what helped us and what might have hindered us a little. We did bend the rules a bit, didn't we? Like, for example, Miss Calvert told me, don't have a complete idea on what your performance is before writing the written proposal. I think...
Sorry.
Yeah.
But she's so contradictory there.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you gotta have sections.
You gotta have sections to the performance, but don't have a complete performance. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have an initial idea. I suppose it's kind of the same thing, but I had a whole performance idea. I did end up changing it, but then I only wrote about certain parts that I knew I wanted to keep.
Yeah.
So, and then I could just, tweak the little bits at the end. So, having said that, I did think I did all form a written proposal. Turns out that was false. I did quite well, apparently.
Nice.
But yeah, we did play around a bit, me, you, and Oscar, and I think even if that did hinder us, it allowed us to be a bit more creative.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the restrictions holding us back, but but yeah.
Maybe my limitations in theatre video is inaccurate now.
Yeah.
No, it's a good video. What is one new thing you did in your second year?
Okay, the obvious one is that I've already mentioned is performing on my own.
Yes.
Directing. We had just at the end of the first year we had a little taste on what directing would have been because we had these skeleton scripts and everything. But when we got proper down to picking a small extract and then picking a slightly bigger extract to do as the final performance, that's when me, you, and Oscar started learning a lot about each other's directing styles and performing styles. But at the same time, we learnt more about ourselves as well because we were learning what we would do if we were a director. So it was interesting.
I remember with directing, directing Endgame was the first thing we did, and I made you walk back and forth.
That was...
You have such a jaunty walk. I don't like it.
Because it was Samuel Beckett, you were so hard on me. You were like, right, you got to basically choreograph every bit of movement. It's like Simon Says, but extreme.
So, something that I did new in second year, I was more chill. Like, especially with ... I was just like, this is fun. This isn't anything to do with college. But with the individual commission, I was just like, because everything had to be just brief, I was just like, this is for college. And it sucked. When I make YouTube videos in the level 3 BTEC in Performing Arts, there's a really big balance between doing it for college and doing it for my YouTube channel. So if I do it just for college, it turns out 10 minutes, really boring, with a lot of my bad acting in it. If I do it for my YouTube channel, it comes out 6 minutes with all relevant stuff in it. And I believe the 6 minutes is better. But improvisation, Stephen Berkoff and Bertolt Brecht revisited are some of my favorite videos because they're unique and massive. The most brilliant balance between for YouTube for college, because and it's what kind of inspired me to do the theatre and limitations video, because I was just like, this isn't good enough for distinction level. How do I make it better? Oh, analyse stuff. I wrote down, I hate Merce Cunningham. It doesn't make sense. And then I watched an interview where it was like, it's not supposed to make sense. Maybe people who don't know about dance will like it quite a lot, because what you know, if something strays from what you know, you don't like it. So it's just like, okay, let's analyse it and be non-judgmental and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I quite like Merce Cunningham now. Don't like doing his stuff, but like I like him.
Yeah. Our development from the beginning of the course to the end of it.
I've developed a lot in improvisation, which is resilience, teamwork, and confidence. From the first day at Titchfield, where we had the cycling into a cat.
Yeah. Oh god.
To ... performance, where we spent 20 minutes doing innuendos for pantomime. I've improved a lot. And improvisation is the best thing to learn.
It is. It's very key. You don't. It's like someone who doesn't know theatre would look at improvisation and say that's messy, but it's actually a very difficult thing to get
It's an
used
art.
to doing. It is an art.
I've just developed as a person. Like, I know how my brain works now better than ever.
Well, someone's got to. Yeah.
And how to work with difficult people.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
How about you? Your development.
This Stu goes on about this. I started off really nervous, very, very. In terms of confidence, I was very, very low, and even socially, when first meeting everyone in the course, there was an element of, I didn't really know how to, but then. During the Greens performance, and this is the rehearsals, and this is another reason I enjoyed the rehearsals so much, is everyone was just kind of like pushing me to do it, but in a nice way. So it was like, I could
Come on,
tell,
Joe, do it.
Yeah, I could tell they wanted the best for me. It's like everyone was rooting for me, and I was and I had ideas. That's when I started to have ideas. I had the idea of Wasted. I had, and it got to the point where we were all like on the same page. We all knew what we wanted from the performance, more or less. So so.
I can't believe that was a merit performance, though.
Yeah,
How was it for you?
The performance?
No, the grades. Do you know? Can you remember?
I think it was a merit. I don't know if I got any distinction.
Can't believe that was a merit.
Must have got at least one distinction. But
The written must be amazing.
The written was probably my written was probably what gave me a merit more than the show, because I did get nervous, and it's funny how I mentioned people supporting me, because that same day I nearly didn't go to an audition, and because I thought about how everyone helped me, I was like, I can't just give up. So I ended up doing a performance which ended up being one that I really enjoyed,
and which got you onto another one. Got you into another one.
Which Which the director then thought to ask me to help with Shakespeare after, and that was fun. I really enjoyed doing Richard III.
I wish I did Richard III now, because I really wanted to do us, the comedic duo, like in an actual performance outside of college before we go off to uni.
Yeah. Oh, and another one outside of college that a performance I enjoyed was the one for the acting showcase thing Nick did.
So Jim came to me and was like, I think we should kiss.
And that, again, shows that thanks to the help of the people on the course, how my confidence has grown. It's like, I would have never been... You might have suggested that, like, in the past. You would have, in the past. And I would have been like, oh, can we think of something else?
Your kisses have gotten better.
Thank you.
Like, your breath doesn't stink anymore. Well, much. Well, at least when I kissed you. And your lips are a lot less dry.
Cool.
You like lubricating your lips. And like I said in the Journal Me intro, you're shit at being romantic in real life.
Yeah.
But acting romantic, you're amazing.
Yeah, it's because...
Like, we were sat on 2 chairs, and you were, like, cuddling up to me.
Yeah. The thing is, it's different in a performance, because I just know we're 2 characters, so I can be like, oh, okay, I can do this and do this.
And then when it's just in real life...
It's real life, it's like, shit, I don't know what the reaction... I do overthink it in real life. That's my weakness.
So, you get less anxiety on stage.
Well, that's something else that's worth mentioning. It got to a point, after being pushed so hard by my peers, it got to a point where I found more comfort on stage than I do in most social situations. Because I was like, it's I got used to it, and I was like, I really enjoy it. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm panicking, I don't know what to do when I'm on stage, I'll get my lines right, say them as quick as I can. It's like, I don't have to worry as much. You know, I find like a way of connecting myself with a character, a bit Stanislavski style. And then I just explore that, and then eventually I come out with a decent performance.
We're opposite, I just realised. Like, when I got into acting in year 9, I was more comfortable on stage than in real life. Because on stage, I could act happy, make other people laugh, and I knew it was a character. When acting happy in real life, I knew it wasn't a character, and I was massively mentally ill. And then acting alongside my job, which is again acting, just helped me talk to easier. Like, I remember some of the time I put on my customer service voice to talk to people, and you're just like, how the hell do you just do that? You just talk to someone randomly. Like, I think it was a bus stop, and there was old man. He started talking to me, and I was just like, how are you doing then? Why are you here? What have you done today? And you were just like, how the hell did you do that?
Yeah.
That was a fun discussion, which will be very fun to edit.
We should start a podcast.
That was fun to edit. Thank you, Joe, for being with me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Real fun.
And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting and it helped you. Please like, share and subscribe with notifications turned on. Well, entertain editing me.
Well, Richard may be gone for a long time, but Einstein said time is relevant, so maybe you're just waiting for a long time. That's what I said.
You said relevant.
That maybe you're just waiting for a long time. I think that's what it means. But anyway,
that's a funny joke.
I'm good at this part. Yeah.
Throwing you into the deep end like they did the course. I mean, what? Sorry. I'm back. So,